Well, to lay out the complex dynamics of the US presidential elections in November, we're joined by Małgorzata Zawadka. She's a journalist, freelancer and a US specialist. Very back, Małgorzata. Good to have you back.
Hello, it's really nice to be back, although the occasion is kind of grim.
It is. It's a very grim, very grey and complex situation at the moment. So let's start with some context. Now, President Biden is almost universally acknowledged to not be in command of his mental faculties, or sufficiently not enough to run for another term as president, but he is determined to do it. Now, the Democratic National Convention's coming up soon. Do you think he will be replaced? If so, by whom?
I'm not so sure that he's incapable of doing this work. I still think that Joe Biden is the best American president we had in a long time, and he's a great president for Poland, for Europe, for Ukraine. I think the situation would be much worse if it was not for Joe Biden, and the fact that he does not look good on camera and he makes these bloopers that he made even if he was much younger, because he was known from being the president or vice president or senator who would say strange things, and he was also stuttering when he was young. So I still I'm not really prepared to acknowledge that he is not mentally capable. We don't know. Maybe White House is really covering something, or maybe it's just the result of a lot of stress. And also, when we watched the debate 2 weeks ago, I think that Donald Trump was much worse. So I'm not sure. You see, with this, what happened yesterday, because today we are in a parallel universe, right?
We are.
We just woke up and everything is different. Donald Trump is a hero.
It is very, lots of changes overnight. But I just want to go back to Biden for a second, if I may. Do you think then that, because there are questions being asked about his mental acuity, including by the press in the United States, which has traditionally been very supportive of him, and one of the main concerns is how he presents himself to foreign leaders, and particularly enemies of America. Do you think he should take a test?
Yes, I think he should take a test. And actually, at the press conference at the end of the NATO summit, he said that if his neurologist will recommend a test, he's kind of open to taking it. So maybe he will take a test. But I am pro-test, right?
Right. Okay, you're pro-test. Well, that's good. I think that would answer a lot of questions
yes.
on either side. Now, sorry, go on.
The thing is that we don't really have this, like the example of cognitive test. You know, it's kind of hard, and it's up to many interpretations. So I think
Trump
that's
had
why
to take one, if I'm not mistaken.
We don't know what kind of test he took. It's just he tells that the test was actually told that he was the healthiest person in the world and mentally probably the acutest, but we don't know. I think he should take the test. I think that also I thought that he should be in the public more often. I think that it was a mistake that the White House was hiding him from public. And I also think his presidency opened the big question about ageism. And I think that the presidential campaign should be more about substance, not so much on performance.
Well,
so we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure that he will be replaced. And with what is happening now,
so he
looks quite presidential now.
Well, he certainly did in that last statement that we saw. So you think he's going to be the Democratic Party nominee?
Or Kamala Harris. I don't think there is any other choice. So we'll see. And I also think that with this age, it's possible that something will happen, although I wish nothing will happen, and I really wish he will be the president.
If Kamala Harris were to replace him for whatever reason, how do you feel that would influence the Democratic Party's chances of winning in November?
What happened today is such a big question. how the events will turn out. That right now it's hard to say what are the chances, because I still, like, everyone is tending to believe that this is the end. Donald Trump is winning. We are not so sure what will happen in the next 4 months.
Right.
So let's say that there was no assassination on Donald Trump, and Kamala Harris is replacing Joe Biden. I think she did not get a fair shot in the public arena during the Biden presidency. My personal opinion is that she was just trying to be a good sport, and she was trying to be less visible than Joe Biden. Also, this is an obvious thing with American public. They still not sure about a female president, woman president, especially a woman of color. So I think she was stereotypized. Sorry for my English.
Okay,
but I know you know what
yeah.
I mean.
So how would you assess her performance as VP over the last 3.5 years?
Well, she did not do well on immigration, and it was her special thing. And the other things, the performance was not excellent, because I don't think she got a chance. Because I think she was just trying to be behind Joe Biden, and Joe Biden was slower and slower with every year. So this I would say that it was probably, and she had a tremendous negative opinion, especially, like, she's the laughingstock of Fox News and Donald Trump. So this is also important.
Well, unfortunately, that's true of many personalities in American politics. The media does tend to be very, very critical.
Extremely critical,
yeah.
And I also think that before assassination, she would have much bigger chance, because she is a prosecutor, and this juxtaposition that he is a convict and she is a prosecutor was a great one, made by Joe Biden 2 days ago, because Joe Biden said, "My vice president Donald Trump," and then everyone was laughing that he doesn't know the difference. So he wrote, "I know the difference. One is a convict, another is a prosecutor." So, and for the last couple of days, I kind of saw that Joe Biden is fighting the worst thing he could have, which is his own friends in Democratic Party.
Right.
So I also believe that what Democrats did to Joe Biden is worse than the debate did to Joe Biden.
Right.
So we had, and he started to, like, the press conference was okay, besides the presidential bloopers with calling Zelensky Putin and Kamala Harris Trump, but the press conference was okay, and he had a really good speech in Detroit a day before Donald Trump in Pennsylvania. And I was actually thinking maybe not everything is lost. And I think that if Kamala Harris was to campaign with him more, the ticket Biden-Harris, with the acceptance of American people that she is ready to take his place if the worst would happen.
Right.
I still think it could work.
Okay, so is that what you expect?
Now,
is that what you? Okay, we'll come to Trump in just a second. But is that what you expect the DNC to support? Another Biden-Harris ticket?
Yes,
okay.
I would expect them. At this time, I would expect them I would expect the Democrats to be honest.
Okay.
Joe Biden is old. He's extremely experienced. He's the master behind whatever was American politics for this last 4 years. And he was also a very successful president. Economy is booming. Unemployment is down, and like America is in a pretty good shape. Dollar is very high, the highest in like 50 years. So I would expect Democrats to be more open, that this is what we have. We are behind Joe Biden.
Yeah.
I would not expect them to be this backstabbing, whining babies. That's how I saw them for the last
Well, we shall see what happens at the convention. Now, let's talk about the assassination attempt. And you've already alluded to the fact that you think it basically means a Trump win. Talk us through your thinking on that.
No, I'm not thinking that that this is already 100% that he will win. I'm thinking that at this state, at this point, the reasonable thing to assume is that he might win.
Right.
Because he is the victim / hero. He behaved unbelievably good as it looked like he was performing in his own assassination. I'm sorry, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but it was unbelievably well played, right? But it was reality. So for the first time in the eyes of Trump haters, he became someone who is brave.
Right.
Because he had this opinion that he is a coward, he is not really someone who would, that was something to happen, he would be the first to run. Because he was telling that that soldiers are losers and that he doesn't like people who... He was really disrespectful for soldiers. So all the Trump psychologists in commentators, they were saying that this is because he is actually, someone who envy the heroes. And events of the last evening, the way he reacted, the way that he really did not panic, and he still had this, in him. He's 70 years old, 78 years old.
Yeah, almost 80. Yeah,
almost 80. That he did not run, and he still managed to, call, "We will fight, fight." So those images are very powerful, and Democrats and all enemies of Donald Trump, they lost the power of calling him loser and a coward. And also they lost the power of criticizing him too much. Because now you cannot say bad things about someone who was just assassinated, because it was a really horrible thing that happened.
Yes, but I wouldn't be surprised if they found something to say about it.
They will, but at this moment, they all had, I've been watching all possible news today, probably we all are. And everyone is like, "Oh my God, we feel for you, Mr. Trump. We are so grateful that you are okay." And the ability to criticize Trump is paralyzed. The same Joe Biden. And also Joe Biden was criticized a few days ago that he is not fighting with Trump more, that he should say more bad things about him. Now?
Yeah.
No.
So maybe this is actually, in a strange kind of way, a healing of the political environment where people actually talk and argue on political issues rather than personal ones.
The Republicans will not do that. That's the thing. Republicans, they already started saying that this is because of Joe Biden, that this is Democrats' fault, that they see Trump as anti-democratic and fascist. So this was the reason why the violence. So I think that right now Republicans will criticize Democrats as much as they can. And Democrats cannot defend themselves, actually. So this is the moment. This is a really hard moment. We'll see how it plays out. However, there is also one thing: the security, which wasn't. There was
absolutely. I want to talk about security in just a minute, though. But before we get to that, the Republican National Convention is starting tomorrow.
Perfect. I mean, could you imagine?
So the timing seems to be pretty advantageous. Who do you think his running mate is going to be?
Well, three people. Doug Burgum, the governor of North Dakota, Marco Rubio, and J.D. Vance. Before the assassination, many people would say Marco Rubio or Doug Burgum. J.D. Vance was actually defending him he came out very strongly today in the morning, a senator from Ohio. Actually, he's the author of saying that Trump is cultural cocaine, which I really like. He used to be a sharp critic of Donald Trump. Yeah. He's 39. he will be one of those three. To me, I think Marco Rubio would be his best assets because he brings Latinos and he brings people of color.
Okay.
But I've heard opinions that governor of North Dakota, who is very rich, who is a businessman, they understand each other best. So those three.
Okay, well, we shall see, and we'll call you back and get your opinion when we know the answer to that question.
I'd be happy to come back.
Thank you very much indeed, Małgorzata, for joining us again.